Oh yeah! Hello everybody. Welcome to the Evercade Effect. This is Ed. No, the title is not clickbait at all. Um, I think it's a topic that's important. My channel members know that on live streams I've talked about this, and I've talked about this. And members only update. Yeah, I'm wearing the shirt for a reason. We're gonna go ahead and get to that. And just because I know I'm gonna get a lot of crap from this video, just keep in mind all these opinions are just strictly my own. We don't have to agree or anything like that, which is fine. I'll just be civil in the comments. I was like getting a kind of conversation going. And what I'm going to say is never to take away from your enjoyment of retro gaming and Evercade. So I put some thought into this and something I've talked about in Evercast and everything. Is Evercade dying a slow death? And I think in order to better understand that, we got to teleport back to 2023, and let's go ahead and look at the showcase, right? And kind of look at what we got listed here. So in 2023, we started off with, you all know how I feel with the purple carts, but I mean the blue carts. We got the Commodore C64 Collection 2, and we got Toplin 2. So that was a great balance, right? In my opinion, got a cart that was really good, and maybe a cart, maybe not as good. For those of you who like the computer collections, that's fine. However, I will say then boom, we came up with Pico Collection 3, which is pretty good, and Team 17 Amiga Collection 1, which actually is this year has two of my favorite blue carts we're going to talk about. So then another two good carts. Balance, and maybe if you didn't like computer, didn't like Pico, usually I think most people like one or the other, so great balance. Then after that, Pico Arcade 1, which I think is really good. Silk Road is excellent. And then Sydney Hunter was fabulous with Jester, but another good setup. And then we have Sunsoft Collection 1, which for me was a complete banger, totally nostalgic for Blaster Master. Finally, I was able to beat that as an adult with save states and everything. And then Amiga Collection, which wasn't as great because we had two games on it that really needed a mouse for point and click. And then Out of This World games are just, they're challenging as hell. Also, I should mention, too, we didn't get any ever delays. Everything came out when it needed to. Then October was a banger. Oh, my God. Full Void, it's a short game. One of the best experiences that I've had on Evercade. Home Computer Heroes 1, another solid blue collection. Like, I love that collection. Sorry, I just have a cold here. And that was one of my favorite. Team 17 and Home Computer Heroes, two great collections. My two favorite computer collections came out in the same year. And then after that, holy crap. Now, so throughout the year, we've gotten some really good stuff, really good bangers to kind of feed us along, right? Like there's nothing really bad. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the C64 Collection 2, but whatever. All the other cards kind of make up for it. And this was a pretty good balance of the different colors, although I only see two purple cards, which is something we'll get to. It seems like we're not getting nearly as many of those. But anyways, so yeah, Duke Nukem Collection 1, holy crap. That was unbelievable. The best, in my opinion, the best cart that came out in 2023. Duke Nukem 1 and 2 remastered with a bitchin' soundtrack. Blaze did a great job. The developers that they worked with stayed true to the original. It was a great remaster. It was perfect. And then yeah, you get Duke 3D on there, which is the PSO port, which was kind of mid, but really you're buying that for the two games. And then we have Duke Nukem Collection 2 to complement it. I really was not into the PlayStation versions of those games at all, but Duke Nukem Advance was a lot of fun. Once I got a working cart, kind of side joke, if you've been watching me stream, I had two carts die on me. But you know what though? Video Games Plus made it right, but that's not the point of this video. And that was interesting to explore. Duke Nukem Advance was a lot of fun. And then Good Boy Galaxy and Witcher Good Boy Galaxy is excellent. I need to go back to the Metroidvania. And they have the two Asta Bros, which is the second best cart, which really kicked ass. And then into 2024, we started off strong with Indie Heroes. And then it's not pictured here because Blaze didn't update this, and my apologies. I would have updated it myself. I noticed for the video. C64 Collection 3, which is meh, again, but still though, it's a balance, right? Like you have a really good banger and then a so-so collection. Or I guess if you're not into Indie Heroes, then maybe you like this. But this was very well curated. A lot of thought and love was put into the licenses, right? And so let's go into 2024, and you'll see there's, something very, very, very different here. So we start off with a banger, Sunsoft Collection 2. Of course, it's not going to be as good as the first one, in my opinion, right? Because it's Blaster Master. But we still got some awesome games. Euphoria might be one of the best games of 2024 that's on there. Huge shout out to Immortal Sojourn, who helped me beat that game live. That was incredible. It's a great Metroidvania. Never saw the light of day in the United States. A very expensive game if you buy the original cart. Plus, you need save states. We have Pico 4, which is that was kind of mid, right? I mean, but again, a good and a bad. Then the crappy thing, and this is Blaze's biggest blunder this year, and there's no excuse for this. For the month of July until August, we had nothing. We had zero. There were ever delays, right? That to me, that is inexcusable, right? Blaze has been at this for 4 years now. They should have been able to figure this out. And I'll tell you what they could have and what they should have done. Not just entirely too long to wait between the carts, and it screwed up the whole rest of the releases, in my opinion. And I'll kind of talk about that and why the hype has kind of died down. And this is why I say, is Evercade dying a slow death? Because this year the hype just really hasn't been there, and it's been the worst year for Evercade, in my opinion. And so we'll talk about that. So basically, the problem that Blaze had was they had chip delays and whatnot with the rebranding of the EXPR and the VSR, and because they packaged Tomb Raider with it, they did not want to release the cart by itself. I guess they didn't want to make people bad for pre-ordering and getting the EXP and VSR. Maybe they were afraid people would cancel the pre-orders. Kind of looking back, I think that might have been a mistake, right? Because we had 4 months with nothing. Basically, the hype died down and all that. I think I did a lot of streaming of like indie and retro games on Steam Deck. Apologize for my cold, if I'm being honest. So what they could have done to keep things fresh is that, okay, Damo's collection was good to go. Fine, they didn't want to do that. Why couldn't they just have released Legacy of Kain, right? Why couldn't they have swapped it? It amazes me, the inflexibility, right? I mean, you got to be telling me that if they put out Legacy of Kain earlier, then people would have been happy. Oh my God, we would have had something. I think I would have liked Legacy of Kain more because I talked about this. The problem was then we had Tomb Raider come out, and now we have Legacy of Kain come out. Two very similar type of games. I'm talking about like the 3D version of Legacy of Kain, right? And Tomb Raider. It's a very similar type of game where you go through, solve puzzles. Yes, there's differences, but they're too close back to back. They should have just swapped them. If they had done that, at least we could have had Legacy of Kain to play, and then Tomb Raider would have come out. I don't see what the big deal would have been to do. And they could have done it, but for some reason they chose not to. Or they could have chose maybe to go ahead and move like Toplin 3 up, Data East 2 up. They could have very well shuffled things around. And then they could have had Tomb Raider come out now when they needed to. There's really no reason, or they could have taken something from next year. So that was a complete blunder. Like that doesn't make any sense. Since they couldn't, for some reason, get the issues sorted with their shippers and whatnot, they could have moved things around, right? So then we finally got that, and then the VSR comes out, right? Which, if I'm being honest, that's not exciting at all to this community, because all of us, we have a VS, we have an EXP, we have a Super Pod, we have some way to play Evercade, right? So most of us didn't give two shits about that. Maybe people getting into Evercade, yes, that's awesome. That's but I'm talking about the existing community didn't really, that I don't really think that did. I'm just going based off of the comments and everything else. And not only that, when I'm going over this, I'm not, somebody commented on my last video that like Blaze can't just cater to you. Well, I'm not saying that I've done the catering to me. I'm just talking about in general. I do apologize for the sniffling here to cost medicine. Anyways, so then again, they paired a good collection with a crappy collection. So they have a habit of kind of doing that. Good. I mean, again, if you like the computer collections, whatever, but it's not my cup of tea. We got the grip pushed out fine. It would have been nice to have the grip earlier, but again, they were waiting on the grip. I think the grip, they said that it was being like logistically shipped with the EXPR, something like that. I don't know, but at least we're going to have it before we get the Toplin game. So they did that right. Then the big elephant in the room, they focused way too much attention on new hardware. So we have the Alpha, and we have the EXPR and the VSR, right? Now at the end of the year, we have some bangers, Data East 2, Toplin 3 and 4, although some people have commented that they don't like them being back-to-back again. They could have easily moved Toplin 2 over to August. They didn't do that. And if they were so concerned, they could have had Toplin 2, they could have had Legacy of Kain 2, which I think having an arcade game pairing with like an action-adventure RPG would have been a lot better. And then Thalmos, they could have moved that down here. And then finally, at the end of the year, we can get one dual cart modern retro game. One. And if we go back here, remember the end of the year? Boom, boom, boom. We had 4. Yeah, 4 games. I'm sorry. No, more than that. The two Dukes, Good Boy Galaxy, actually 5 games. So we had like 5 modern, retro, indie, remaster, whatever. 5 games across 3 carts, right? And then I guess technically in 2024, yeah, we had the Indie Heroes 3 and all that. We don't have any of that here, right? You can see it's gone downhill. And this just really upsets me. Another thing we didn't have Showcase Volume. We didn't have like Showcase Volume 3. For some reason, Blaze started that. And I felt the need to talk about making the video because I'm super passionate about Evercade. I love Evercade. It was my primary system for gaming for a while. But then there were just too many ever delays, right? There was just too many delay of carts, and you need to get your fix. And so what we've seen this year is we've seen not as much indies, again, or modern retro games. A huge lack of focus on arcade. It's still better, it's still better than last year. At least, let's see, what are we getting? We're getting 3 titles, and I guess technically 4. But if you start from, 3 titles. I'm sorry, not 4, just three titles. So we got one more, but still more. Still, Blue is getting more attention, which I get, and I respect that Blaze they want to push out things that are nostalgic to them, but now I think it's time that they kind of look at the rest, look at the rest of everyone else, and I really think what they need to do in 2025 is they need to make up for all this. So now coming here in November, we will get the Evercade Alpha. Great. Start pushing arcade carts. What is the number one arcade cart that all or most, for the contrarians, retro fans crave, that they want a physical copy of? That's the Neo Geo. It has been 4 damn years, and we have not. I mean, in SNK, they've licensed to everybody. I don't understand. I don't know what the hangup is, but I think in 2025, Blaze needs to focus on that. We need to have like 6 arcade collections. 3 of them need to be Neo Geo, maybe even 4. There's like 160 or so games. We could have Neo Geo for years, right? Because now, I mean, it's too expensive. I think maybe you can get like Samurai Showdown 2 or King of the Fighters and 4, some of like the AES ones. Maybe you can get those for 100, 150. And even now, the MVS games, the arcade port, they become way expensive. So the only way, unless you just got money coming out of your butthole, the only way in 2025, if you didn't already have Neo Geo games to get them in a physical format, would be this. Even like Xenocrisis and other aftermarket games are like $350, $400 for a cart. So what I think would be great is to kind of just, answer all of our retro dreams. Give us Neo Geo. We can have on a physical cart. Oh my God. How epic would that be? And put on there 5 or 6 games if you have to. Spread out. Give us some give us some fighters. Give us like Magician Lord. Kind of spread things out. Give us a couple Metal Slugs, or hell, even do like a Metal Slug collection, Volume 1 and 2. That would do well. It's a license to print money. Whatever SNK wants for the license, Blaze needs to do it. They'll make money off of it, right? And not only that, it'll give great exposure. I think to Blaze that they wouldn't have. You send those out to people like retro gamers, like in the Japanese community. You send them out to like scruffy looking RGB, Retro Moments, 4 AM Laundry, and Kid Shoryuken that's now Mad Penny Gaming. Send it out to them. Send them a VS. Have them test it. Have them compare it to the actual like real Neo Geo carts. Have them give their opinions. I think they would be like, hey, this is pretty cool. Well, it's not original hardware, but yeah, this is the next best thing. have the special edition where you can buy the actual like Neo Geo AES box, and you open it up, and inside there's a spot to put there's a spot to put like the um, smaller box or whatever. Maybe there's like a free T-shirt and some other cool things. And so you still want to have like you still want to have that purple cart, but you could put it there. But yeah, do that. Come out with one of those every 2 months. Oh my God, people would be through the roof. It would sell like hotcakes. So yeah, Neo Geo I think is a big get of what they need to do in 2025, and I don't understand why. Not like they're difficult with the license. Now the other big get that they really need to get, and I'd like to see this in a red cart, specifically, is Konami. And the reason for that is because, like a lot of my childhood, we've the superior version of Contra is on console. We want that. There's the OG Contra, Super Contra. They even give us the Genesis Mega Drive game of that. But give us some Castlevanias. Give us some Gradius. Give us some Life Force. Oh my God! Just give us those ports. Hell, I'll even take like the NES port of Russian Attack. It was freaking fantastic. I have great nostalgic memories. Give us a volume 1 or 2. Jackal, I almost forgot. Jackal's got to be on there. So yeah, I think those would be the two big gets that they need to do. And the other thing is that, listen, here's the other reason why I say Evercade is kind of the spirit of it. I feel like is dying a slow death, and that is in the beginning. Okay. We had that little guy behind us, the OG white Evercade. The screen sucked, but the controls were great. HDMI out. At the time, the handheld market was, there really wasn't anything there, and we didn't care, right? You looked at it straight on, the screen was good enough. And Blaze, they had no choice just to focus on good software. We had like the Technos collection with like the Double Dragons. We had Atari. Oh my God. We had Namco, Pac-Man, and all that. So we had Lynx, Slime World, Chips Challenge. So we had some real heavy hitters, and they've kind of gone away from that. Special editions are fine, like the Duke Special Edition. That sold out instantly. They need to do more of that. I think that they spent way too much R&D in doing the VS-R and the XPR. What I think that they should have done was just kept the same names unless they legally had to change it, and not really dwelled on, hey, it's different, technically different hardware with the same specs. I think what they should have done is not focus on Super Pockets, released like an EXP, had the Taito collection or something else built in, have the Atari collection built in. They make good stocking stuffers or whatnot, but I think that would have appealed. That would have appealed more. And then the other big thing is I think they should have put a big focus on the Alpha. Alpha should have came out earlier in the year. Should have come out with carts. They shouldn't have partnered with Capcom. They shouldn't have had built-in games. It should have come with Toplin 2, Data East 2. And what they should have done is maybe had like 6 or 8 marquees of the most popular arcade games. You could switch in and out, make it look like how Katie did, and have artwork that you could like magnet to the side or kind of remove to the side, like how like on the Steam Deck you can put on like a skin, that plastic. I can't think of a better thing. That would have been better. Knocked the price down, made it like $200, released it with those carts, and then it would have stayed true to what Evercade was about. And that is, you have carts, you have affordable carts, you can relive that experience. You can get these cool physical things in the mail. And I've seen they kind of gone away from that. So I'm really hoping that next year, Blaze, I don't know if you still watch my videos or whatnot, because you've been quite distant from most YouTubers. And I know I'm not like a big channel out there. So, but anyways, that'll be that could be a separate video. But now that you've got that out there, just focus on the friggin' software, right? And enhance the firmware for fixes what needs to be done. Give us those secret games. I talked about this in Evercast. It was really weird that the Toplin 4 collection has a console game that should have been put in there. If you put in the 2 arcade collections, it should unlock it like they did before. Like with 1 and 2, you got, I forget what version, you got like the console version. This one I believe is Sky Shark. I don't know why they did that, but to me it's like that lack of attention to detail, right? It's an arcade collection, but they put a console card in there. Weird, right? I mean, I guess it's cool for for us handheld users if you want to play that. But I want to see the love and attention. Get those licenses. You've got all your hardware out there. You've got the Alpha. If you still want to move towards being a hardware company, release another Alpha, right? You don't have to do any R&D. Release more Super Pockets. What you should have done this year is released a Legacy of Kain Special Edition. My God, I underestimated how popular Legacy of Kain is. Maybe there's even a bigger fan base for Tomb Raider, even though I was more nostalgic for Tomb Raider. I think if they released the Legacy of Kain, like a really cool, like vampire-ish type VS, oh my god, I think that would have sold out instantly, like Duke Nukem. So yeah, that's what I want to see. But I really feel like that Blaze is just dying a slow death. The passion isn't there. I hope they're not being bought out by another company. I don't know what's going on. They've been radio silent, right? Like they used to really talk to me, Rich, Pete, and Crow, come on Evercast, give their opinions and all that, private message us on Discord and everything. But it hasn't been like that for a couple of years. They've completely distanced themselves. Whatever. So let me know in the comments below what you think. What do you think about this? What do you think Blaze needs to do next year? Am I being overly dramatic? Let me know. I'd really like to hear your thoughts and opinions. Before I forget, I would like to go ahead and thank my channel members and everybody who views and watches my videos. And if you like what you see, please feel free to like and subscribe. Got the big Halloween spectacular show coming up that's going to be awesome. Everything will be cool. Thank you so much, everyone, and bye-bye. Thanks, Crash Line, Mr. Shua, Immortal Sojourn, Sucker MC, Ember Cummings, Joe Whitlash.